What's up, good people, sports fans? This is Undrafted Views. We're here. We talk sports from the sidelines. My name is Evay, and I'm here with my co-host. Say what's up, Sha.
What's going on?
And today we're going to talk about, of course, the hottest thing that's going on in the NBA is the 3-day boycott. Yes, we have some viewpoints we would like to share with you guys, and we're going to get into it. So, shoot, let's get started.
Hey, let's do it. Okay, so I want to know, what impact do you think the players have had during the 3-day strike? Did they gain leverage, lose leverage? I mean, what should they be doing next?
I think that the 3-day boycott, it did bring about continued discussions, right? So it put the sports world on pause. One of the things that I did see is that not only did the NBA stop playing, but then you had tennis players who didn't play. You had MLB teams that did not play. And I'm not certain about NHL, but there were other sports entities that also participated in not playing their games, right?
Right.
So from an impact from that perspective, the NBA just in that one day on Wednesday led the trail for from a sports perspective discussion. So
right.
that impact was strong on that one day. And I have some thoughts on some other things, but I think that's one of the major impacts, that it brought other sports entities to think about what they wanted to do on that day as well. And that day, I'm talking about the first day of the boycott.
So. Okay. So did they gain leverage by sitting out those 3 days? I mean, because I personally think they lost leverage. Because it was just way too short. It was short. And if I'm being honest, it was really a 2-day boycott. The third day was the NBA trying to figure out, okay, well, how are we going to reschedule these games?
That's fair. That's fair.
You know, I think if you really want to make an impact, you got to sit out the remainder of the playoffs. Just don't come back until next season, or don't come back until your demands have been met. Because I'm not exactly sure all the things that the players wanted in terms of the NBA throwing money into certain communities. And I'm not exactly sure that has taken place by this 3-day boycott, 3-day strike, you know?
I'm going to have to agree with you on that. And I wonder, number one, what were the demands and or things that the NBA players and the NBA Players Association wanted to see change? Not what the NBA, the 3 changes that they agreed to, right? So it's different for you to have your demands and what you want to do, but it's also different when someone else has what they want to do that they think is better to help pacify and negate the things that you want to do. I'm hoping that whatever those 3 points that the NBA came up with, and we'll talk about what those 3 points are, I'm hoping that that was what the NBA players wanted as well, and not just something that they just agreed to because they just needed to move on.
Yeah.
I don't know what that looks like. Yeah. And I think that I would say they lost leverage in this respect, because not only did the NBA decide not to play on that first day of the boycott and whatever games that they were, there were also other sports entities that decided not to play as well. It would have been great for the NBA now to lead the charge to say, okay, let me get with these other sports entities. Can we all come together and agree on what sports in general looks like until we see the change that we keep talking about? Because if you want to know how change is impacted, it's going to be when money starts to not be spent, right? When advertisements start to dry up, when people start to cancel their direct TV, Spectrum subscriptions, NBA TV subscriptions, right? Yeah. When people stop feeding into not only NBA, NFL, MLB, and tennis, soccer, all of those things, if the sports fans decide that they no longer want to fund that and they're in support of what the NBA, what the players of all sports are doing, for me, that those types of dollars that could potentially be lost will impact change.
Oh yeah,
but
big
the fact
time.
that you just decided not to play for 2 to 3 days, or maybe in some cases, some sports entities only didn't play for 1 day. You continued an existing discussion. You didn't start a new discussion. It's an existing discussion, and it's still a discussion.
Yeah. Well, that's the good thing, that people are still talking about it. It dominated all of the news headlines, all streaming services. I mean, it was unbelievable. But when you think about it, who benefited from all that? Who benefited from the increased coverage? Was it the movement? Was it the owners of the networks? I mean, because when Kenny Smith walked off Inside the NBA on TNT, I mean, that went viral. Who owns TNT?
I don't know.
Ted Turner. Ted Turner benefited from that. I mean, Kenny, I think it was all, I'm just going to say, I think it was orchestrated on Kenny Smith's behalf. I think before the camera started rolling, I think he got okay from his bosses. Hey, you guys, this is what I'm going to do. Are you okay with it? I just don't think he's willing to risk it.
Well, they would never say no anyway. They can't say no to anything like that right now anyway.
Now. That's key right now. And I think it all boils down to the money. So Kenny I think, this is my opinion, I think Kenny got approval to do it. And Chuck and Shaq was like, okay, well, you go ahead. And
Chuck.
I know. And as goofy as they are, I just don't know how they were able to keep a straight face. Because in my mind, I thought it was orchestrated. And it was, anyway.
I for some reason in my heart, I feel that there was a missed opportunity.
Oh, okay.
I feel it was a missed opportunity, like I said previously, for the NBA to lead the charge and collaborate with other sports entities. NFL, some teams stopped. They didn't even have training camps that day. If you really want to see change, it is about grouping up together, and it's going to take a sacrifice. Show me where the sacrifice. I didn't see a sacrifice. I just saw that they boycotted to continue the discussion, to state some demands, and by the result of their demands, we have 3 things that the NBA has agreed to do.
Yes.
And now we're starting to play the next set of games.
We're already playing the next set of games. That's why I said I think they lost leverage, because the NBA didn't give enough, and the players they backed down and went back to playing, because I think at the end of the day, it's all about money.
Yeah, it is.
It's all about money. And if it's going to impact the players financially, I don't think they're willing to risk it.
It is all about money. And that same money is what's going to affect change.
Right.
Whatever that money is going to affect change. And the only way to do that is if that money starts to dry up.
But it's not.
It has to be that impactful. The NBA and these other sports entities, they make a lot of money. And some of that money goes toward the players and their salaries, right? So if we want the change that people are hoping to see, some of that, it has to impact the constituents that are part of these rules, these bills, these laws. And if it's not impacting them at their level, then everything that we're talking about will continue to be discussions.
But that's it.
For me, that's how I see it. So it's much bigger. It is bigger than the NBA. It is this right here, what we're going through is bigger than the NBA. It's bigger than all the other sports entities. It's actually bigger than me. It's bigger than you. It's going to take a collective effort from everybody to say, I am no longer going to fund. And until that, I'm going to continue to watch the games.
I'm going to continue to watch the games.
They're playing. Yeah. If they stop playing, then I may consider, but I'm going to still watch the games. I just don't understand. And the 3 things, let's talk about the 3 things that the NBA agreed to do. Because really, I guess that's one of the big results that this 3-day boycott established or allowed for. But is it something new? Because that's is it a new thing that's going to now move the needle? That's going to now drive the change, or is it something that's things that have already been continuing, not only with the NBA, but all these other boots on ground coalitions and or committees and projects and teams of people that have been fighting forever and continue to fight. The only difference between them and the NBA and all these other sports entities is that they don't have TV, but they're still out here doing the work.
Doing the work. Exactly.
And I appreciate them. Thank you so much. But NBA, if you want to do the work too, it's going to take some sacrifice.
Yeah. So let's get into what the NBA agreed to.
Yes.
First of all, they are designating the NBA arenas as polling places. I mean, I think it's great. It's a great start, but that's their overall plan. Who's gonna work these polling places?
My thing with that is that particular they're calling it the commitments. So that particular commitment that the NBA made, it says in every city, and I'm on NBA.com, it reads, in every city where the league franchise owns and controls the arena property, team governors will continue to work with local election officials to convert the facilities into a voting location for the 2020 general election to allow safe in-person voting options for communities vulnerable to COVID. It's not going to be for voter suppression, because that's the truth. It's not for COVID. We know everybody's being safe with COVID. At least we hope they are. No, you should be doing that for voter suppression, because that's the issue. So is there an arena in Kentucky?
Right.
Are you going to partner up with arenas where you guys do not have franchise owners to help make sure that those particular areas where voter suppression is rampant, that you're going to help them get to vote? And you're going to open up the college arenas? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, I need details. It's not enough for me. And COVID, no. Voter suppression, yes. COVID, no. And for you to put COVID in that commitment, I'm just like, that's not the...
No. And that is not what the players wanted. That cannot be what the players were talking about.
Can't be.
The players ain't thinking about COVID. No.
I'm here for COVID safety. Please trust me. I'm not saying that shouldn't be, that should not be the underlying thing for all polling places. But that can't be your commitment. Your commitment can be based off of COVID. It could be based off of voter suppression, yes, but not COVID.
Yeah. So if we, as a nation, go to mail-in voting, basically the NBA gets let off the hook.
I didn't think about that. You're right.
Yeah.
Look at that. Did anybody talk about mail-in votes? Because they really been talking about that.
Yeah. Nope, didn't mention that.
That was easy. Check off the list.
Right, exactly. I held my commitment, but the nation went to mail-in voting. So you know what? Oops. Moving on. All right. So now the NBA has also decided,
I'm done,
to include advertising spots during the playoff games to raise awareness.
Don't they already have that?
Yes, because I've already watched a few. So they're just going to add more, or are they checking that one off the list as well? Oh yeah, we're already doing that. Check, getting off the hook.
I don't get it. I don't get, that ain't nothing new. Oh, okay. So they believe that with them adding additional, let's just call it additional advertising with the focus on voting, they're hoping that it would now reach more people. Who you think watching these games? Those people, you mean to tell me people that are watching sports right now are clueless about voting with all the other type of medium that's been happening and people, if you watch regular TV, you're going to see ads on voting. If you're scrolling through any social media platform, you're going to see something on voting. How is that new?
It's not. It's not new.
Oh, perfect. Done that. Checked off the list. We did some more advertising.
Okay, so
Who's
the
benefiting
last
from
one,
advertising dollars? Who's benefiting from advertising dollars?
exactly, the large corporations who see
Again,
it's all
check off the list. Where's the
yeah,
sacrifice in that? Where is the sacrifice in that? None.
nope, because
Okay,
they're
well, get
lining
to
the
that.
pockets. They're lining the pockets of. I
Check
don't
off the
even.
list.
It's checked off the list. Okay, so the last one is the NBA has decided to establish a social justice coalition targeting criminal justice reform. Now I'm paraphrasing, but that's the general agreement that the NBA has.
Yes.
So again,
Who I need to know again. I know they probably didn't want to go into detail, right? They just want to let the public know this is what we agreed on with the NBA players. I'm somebody that needs to know the details because all that highlight stuff, it sounds great. Oh, that's great. Oh, you're gonna open up polling in your arenas? Wonderful. But we have no arena in Kentucky. Okay. Oh, we're gonna put some more ads on about voting. But I could go to social media and get that.
oh,
So
see,
now you want to build a coalition. So I'm like, okay, what is a coalition? I think I know what it is, but you know me, I need to kind of get the details. Let me read what coalition is. What is the definition of a coalition? And this is where my eyes rolled. An alliance for combined action, especially a temporary alliance of political parties forming a government or of states. Temporary.
right? Temporary alliance.
Which means we're not fully invested.
No, but you knew that already.
Oh my gosh.
Come on.
I'm done. Which means
Yeah.
NBA is saying we're not fully invested. We'll put some efforts temporarily in this direction. You know, we can't fight the good fight for long term. We're not trying to do all that. But for temporarily, right now, we're going to go ahead and just put some people. Hey, Sha, Evay, let's change your job descriptions real quick. This is what you guys are going to be doing for the next few months.
Yep.
We're going to assign your work duties to somebody else. And y'all just do this for right now, kind of help us support, whatever the NBA players want to do, get with the, NBA Players Association. Y'all work that out. Send a report to me bi-weekly on what's been going on. And then, we're all good.
Yep.
I want to know who they're working with because there's boots on ground right now doing exactly what they say they want to do.
Yep.
I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand how this is new. Now, if you're telling me that we're going to be partnering up with states that have existing coalitions, existing committees that are fighting the good fight long term, and now you want to do that, I'm here for it because now you're partnering.
Right.
But you're gonna do something separate for what? You doubling up?
They doubling up. I know.
So what's the outcome? What is the outcome supposed to be of this? That doesn't
It was-
get me what is the end result? So I got what you would like to do. I'm hoping next week y'all share what you are expecting to happen from this.
No. Next week they're hoping to be in the second round of the end of the playoffs. You know what I mean? I mean, let's just be honest. That's all they really care about. Social injustice has been going on for a very long time. Now the NBA, and I'm not going to let off other large corporations. Now they want to get involved. Now they want to, throw money into certain communities. Now they want to set up committees.
No better time. And I'm here for it. No better time than the present. Thank you. Welcome. Let's get moving. But don't give me these 3 fluffy commitments. And maybe I'm not privileged to the details, right? So I can only give my viewpoint on what has been shared. If there's other things that are going on, I hope it is going to move the needle. And I hope that they are partnering with these grassroots teams that are doing the work, and they just need somebody with some television, somebody with some extra pull to help move the needle. But if you think the NBA now is going to be like, we did it, no. Matter of fact, if you're not putting money into it,
I was just getting ready to say, yeah. why don't they fund all of the grassroots movements that are already taking place? I think that would be way more effective than
Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be amazing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Or create one big create one and you invite those people who know the ins and outs. I'm talking about people are working right now. Right now. They're not preparing for their next game. They are working right now with local and state officials to make change. So what I would hope to see when I watch CNN, somebody from the NBA office with a microphone at a hearing.
That'd be interesting.
That's what I want to see. I am from the NBA office and I'm here to talk about whatever it is. That's what I want to see. But I'm not going to see that, right? So I want you to not even, because that's not what you're supposed to do anyway. But you got enough money to help fund these grassroots, state and local committees that are doing the work. You can help fund them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can help talk to the constituents that got the big dollars on the behalf. And then two, are we going to do it at each state level? Because see, that's what I'm missing. I'm missing how I need, and that's just me. I like the details. The devil is always in the details for me.
Yeah.
So unless I know the details, I'm going to always be skeptical, and I'm not on the inside. So I'm going to always side-eye until I see the details or until I see the results. So until then, I'm hoping everything that you guys put together, the NBA players wanted to, and they didn't just agree to something, and we'll go from there. But
yeah,
the rest.
I'm on the outside, but I can venture to say, I don't think these were the demands of the players.
Don't seem right. It just doesn't seem right.
These are very corporate agreements. All right.
Miss me with the corporate fluff, because that's exactly
that's what it is.
Miss me with the corporate fluff. I'm done.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Ooh.
Wow.
The NBA is still a corporation at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, that's what it is.
At the end of the day. So if they can affect change, I'm here for it. But the only way they can do it is if they partner up with these other sports entities and make their demands bigger. But everybody going to be working in these silos.
I know, exactly. So